Good morning, everybody. Joe Ciaccio here. Happy Monday to everybody. Everybody had a good Halloween. Everybody had a good time change. So, bad part about that is that we're going to have less hours to work at nighttime. So we got to either schedule more appointments during the day or have more hard to find people to see at nighttime. The only thing I'm going to recommend you to do is that when you're out making appointments at nighttime, even whether it's daylight saving time or not, ask people to maybe leave a light on, kind of find out what type of car they have in their driveway, whether it's a house or an apartment or a duplex, so it'll be more safe for you. So let's talk about some words that are very necessary in our business for us to know. Let's start off with E&O. Everybody should have E&O. E&O is errors and omissions. So in the event you say something or you imply something or the client hears something that they feel is not correct and they sit and said, due to you, me making a bad choice, or due to you, something happened, there's a great possibility that they're going to sue you. So when you have E&O insurance, it's going to protect you. It's going to give you an attorney. It's going to give you a deductible. So it's something just to protect yourself, kind of like having car insurance if you get in an accident or if your house burns, you got house insurance. So you don't need it with all the carriers, yet for about $400 a year, I'm going to recommend you guys to get it. Okay, let's talk about some simple stuff. Okay, everybody knows HIPAA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. When you go to a doctor's office, you go in there with your wife, your significant other. The doctors are now having everybody sign a HIPAA form to where they can discuss stuff in front of you. HIPAA means that whatever you discuss with your client is between you and them. The insurance companies cannot share the information, and you're not supposed to share any information when it comes to your clients. APSs. Some carriers will get an APS from your doctor, attending physician's statement. If you get a Ciaccio policies for folks that are 66 and older, if you got a policy with them under 100,000, all they're going to request is an APS from your doctor. And what that is any medical records the doctor has on your client, any notes the doctor has, and anything they discuss with the client, doctor's APS is sent to the insurance company for them to make a final decision on your client. MIB, Medical Information Bureau. That is where all the insurance companies gather their information to make a decision if they're going to give your client life insurance, health insurance, disability, long-term care, anything in the insurance field. They're going to go and gather that information from the MIB. AP, annualized premiums. Some agents I talk to have got no idea how your actual commission structure works. Monthly premiums times 12 equals your annualized premium times your commission amount times 75%, depending on your credit, what the carriers will advance you for your commission. Policy loan. Policy loans are only available if you have a whole life, a universal life, a variable universal life, a program that accumulates cash. Terms have got no cash value. You do have it on the return of premium terms, but yet most of us just sell the straight term. Some sell the return of premium. So a client can borrow money from their cash value to use it for their tires, use it to fix their air conditioning, whatever they need that money for, they can get that a policy loan from their cash value. If they decide they don't want the policy anymore, they can cash it out, and whatever cash value is in the policy, they will get it. Insurable interest. When it comes to beneficiaries, most carriers want to have an insurable interest on the client compared to who their beneficiary is. More so when it comes to a term policy. With a term policy, with most carriers, you can't get a policy for the client and they want to put their neighbor down the street. There's got to be a reason, there's got to be an insurable interest that if this person dies, it's going to cost this person some money. Whole life carriers, Some of them don't care who you put. You can put your neighbor next door. You can put your roommate. You can basically put whoever you choose. Thank you, Jimmy. You can put whoever you choose. So, Royal Neighbors has it to where they give you about 10 people you can choose from. Again, some carriers, not that they don't care, they're more lenient on who you're going to put as a beneficiary. The second part about beneficiaries is the contingent beneficiary or a secondary beneficiary. That person is noted in the application, so in the event something happens to the primary beneficiary first, before the client dies, the actual money will go to a secondary beneficiary. It's also used so in the event the primary beneficiary and your insured is in an accident together and they pass away, that money will automatically be funneled to the secondary or the contingent beneficiary. Just a fancy name for who's number 2 in line. Free look provision. All insurance carriers have a free look. Most of them are 30 days, depending on your states. They can be 20 days. What that means is that when the applicant receives their policy in the mail, they've got a time period where they can review it, look at it, decide whether they want to keep it or not keep it, and send it back. My recommendation is that if the client does want that, or a client does discuss that with you in the beginning, make sure they call you. Make sure you be the point person, because a lot of times what they'll do is that they'll circumvent it, not go to you, they'll go straight to the carrier, cancel it because of something you may not have gone into detail about, or they may have overbought, or for whatever reason. So always try and stay in contact with your client. The policy's on its way, you should receive it tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Now, I like having the policy sent to me, to where I can put a little I love you letter in there, congratulations, the name of the carrier, which they're going to see in the policy, and some time periods about the carrier, how long they've been in business, and their AM Best rating. I like to highlight the policy, their certificate number, their policy number, their name, smoker, non-smoker. Then I go to the back of the policy where they have the beneficiaries, and I highlight the beneficiaries' names, and I also put like a little sticky to where they can see it, and I tell them go to sticky number 1, sticky number 2, and I've got it all laid out for them to where they can see what we said is written down. Okay, we'll continue. Contestability period. What that means is that when you and a client are together and you're speaking with the client, you do a phone interview, you submit the application, term, whole life, universal life, all insurance has a 2-year contestability, which is a look back. So in the event the client did not say the truth or the agent did not say the truth on the application. Now, what we need to be careful about is that when we are talking with a client, you don't really want to bring up there's a 2-year contestability clause in there, because what's going to happen is you're going to make them more nervous on what's going on. Ask the questions, get the questions, whatever notes you have with that client, keep it. You got a direct mail lead, a Facebook lead, a phone lead, whatever lead you have, keep everything in a file for your client, so in the event something happens, the child can't come back and say, well, my mother had this and the agent didn't write it down, and say, here are all my notes right here, this is what actually happened. So when you switch a client from one carrier to another carrier, that contestability period starts all over again. Again, 2-year look back to where the insurance companies can go back and see if everybody told the truth. If they did not tell the truth and the insurance company finds something that's incorrect, they're going to rescind the policy. The money will be given to the beneficiary, and you'll have 100% chargeback of that. So just be careful. CHF, congestive heart failure, fluids around your lungs. COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, has to do with your lungs. Most of the time people were smokers. TIA, it's a baby stroke, it is a mini stroke. AFib, we hear that a lot, arterial fibrillation, all has to do with your heart. So these are things that I can't go over on the phone, be on the phone for a week. Go to Google, write these little sayings down to where you get a better knowledge, so when you're speaking with a client, you're going to know exactly what it is. Like angina is chest pains. So if you have a little cheat sheet made for yourself, I believe we have one on our app. I'll get with Jay, and if we do, not if we do, I know we do, I'm going to have Jay send it out to everybody today to where you have the little cheat sheets on all these little acronyms. Okay, chronic versus acute. I've heard that a long time ago, and I didn't know what the hell chronic meant. Chronic means something that is serious. It's an ongoing issue where you go to the doctor all the time. It's something that the doctor's either giving you medication on, most of the time giving you medication on. Acute is something that is very simple. You get like maybe a little rash on your hand, they give you a little topical cream, you put it on, it's gone. So chronic is more serious, acute is not as serious. Okay, ADLs. This is when a client will need assistance or need help in doing certain things. Liberty Bankers has it in the questions. Most carriers have the ADLs when you have a rider. So usually a chronic or critical illness, depending on which one it is. If the client of yours has one of these issues, you may not be able to get them a program, or if they get a rider, they can accelerate the death benefit to get money up front. They are bathing. They can't bathe themselves, they need assistance. If they cannot dress themselves alone, if they need help eating, using the restroom, taking their medication or separating the medication out into the little pill containers, if they need help walking, getting in bed, getting out of bed, or getting in and out of a chair. Those are what they call is the activities of daily living, or the ADLs. Mostly for a rider. Some carriers have it in the actual questionnaire, so if they have two or more of these here, they cannot get the policy. Okay, let's go to term policies. A lot of agents are starting to do more term policies because they're become simpler, they're easier. You have a NonMed, you got a fully medically underwritten med, you can go online and apply, get your client approved right then and there. You've got a term 10, 20, term 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30, and they also have a 40-year term. What the word term means is for a period of time with the number that you pick of years, the client will have their premiums locked in. So let's say you get a client a policy for $100,000, and they're 50 years old, and they want a term 20. The $100,000 will be all the way to age 100, yet the premium is only locked in for 20 years. So if the premiums are $50 a month, they're $50 a month for the next 20 years. After the 20 years is over with, they still have coverage. They're going to pay a higher premium amount, which is called adjustable rates. So the rates are going to go up every single year of the policy. So that policy is going to go from $50 a month, that's locked in for 20. It can go to $150, it can go to $200 a month. Year 21, year 22, it goes up. Okay? So the nice part about it is that it'll be a cheap premium for the client. My recommendation is that if you can, if the client wants, if there's a need for it, try to get the client one that's locked in for the longest period of time. Some people only want a term 10 because it is for maybe a credit loan, or they need it for a business venture, they need it for a buy-sell agreement. So every one is different depending on what the client's needs are. Now, when it comes to a term policy, you have two options you can do. You can have a non-med, which a non-med means all they're going to do is that they're going to check your MIB, they're going to check your actual prescriptions. Some carriers may have you do a little swab. Okay, most of the carriers we deal with is just a non-med, is they're going to do the MIB, they're going to do an RX check, you're going to get approval, usually right there on your iPad. Or if your client is more price conscious and you feel that they're going to go through an underwriting process, you can get them a fully medically underwritten policy, which they're going to come out and check their blood, they're going to check their urine, height, and weight and their blood pressure. Now, they're going to pull the blood to make sure they don't have something serious going on with them. They're going to check their urine to make sure that they don't smoke marijuana, okay, or cigarettes. So all this here is going to be a lower premium. The insurance company is going an extra step to make sure your client is telling the truth. Plus, they're going to pull medical records from the doctor. So everything, such as the APS, all medical records will be sent to the underwriter to review with all the medical information they receive from the paramed, all thrown together. Less premiums, takes a whole lot longer. A lot of agents want to do a plain old non-med. You go online, you fill it out, and you're done. Okay, okay, let's finish up with, right now we're in Medicare season. We're in the open enrollment, the annual enrollment period. Everybody here is MAPD, Medicare Advantage prescription drugs. You got the Part D, which the D is for drugs. You got Med Sups, that's short for Medicare supplements, which you buy that to supplement your Medicare. And then our client can be on straight Medicare, so they have to get no Medicare Advantage, they get no Medicare supplement, they just go straight Medicare, yet they're going to have Part A deductible, Part B deductibles, then they got to pay 20% of the doctor, and if they go to the hospital, it's a little bit more in detail. You need to go check that stuff out. Okay, we talked about the HIPAA, the attending physician statement, the ADLs, talked about the term, and Jay's going to send everybody out the little cheat sheet on the acronyms and the different illnesses that you may run across, such as congestive heart failure, acute, chronic. Would go more in detail just in the review so you can have a little more knowledge, so when you speak with a client, you come across as a doctor / insurance agent. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. Make it a great day. Hit them hard. We love you. If you got any questions, make sure you give us a call, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.